Hello and welcome to my channel. So in the last video we have done some questions from basic electrical engineering. So अगर आपने वो वीडियो नहीं देखा है तो प्लीज़ जाके प्लेलिस्ट में चेक करें and please do like and subscribe my channel to get more update like this. So in this video we are going to solve some more questions based on basic electrical engineering. So let's start. So my first question is, which of the following statement is correct? So Norton theorem is same as superposition theorem. Norton theorem is the converse of superposition theorem. Norton theorem is same as Thevenin theorem, and Norton theorem is the converse of Thevenin theorem. So what's happened in a Norton theorem? Any linear circuit containing several sources and several resistance can be converted into a single constant current source with a single resistance in parallel. But if we talk about Thevenin theorem, then any linear circuit can be converted into a constant voltage source with a single resistance in series. So this is the basic difference between Norton theorem and Thevenin theorem. So we can say that Norton theorem is the converse of Thevenin theorem. So the right answer will be fourth. Norton theorem is the converse of the Thevenin theorem. Now, the algebraic sum of the electric current meeting at a common point is, so according to Kirchhoff's current law, the total current flowing into the any node is equal to the total current flowing out of the node. So the total sum of the all current flowing meeting at a common point is 0. So the right answer will be 0. Now, which of the following law is based on conservation of energy? So, Kirchhoff's voltage law is based on conservation of energy. So, Kirchhoff's voltage law KVL is based on conservation of energy, and if we talk about KCL, then it is based on conservation of charge. So, the right answer will be 2. KVL is based on conservation of energy. So, which of the following material does not allow the current to flow in it? So, according to band gap of material, there are three types of material, that is conductor, semiconductor, and an insulator. So, the energy band gap between the conduction band and the valence band in insulator is very large, that is greater than 5 electron volt. So, that's why the insulator doesn't allow the electron to move from valence band to conduction band. So current can't flow in insulator. So the right answer will be B, insulator. Now, how much power in watt will be dissipated by a 5 ohm resistor in which the value of current is 2 ampere? So we know that total power dissipated by any resistive circuit is given by P equals to I square R, or we can say that V square upon R. So here I is 2 ampere, so 2 is square into R is 5, and if we solve this we will get 20 watt. So the right answer will be 20. Which property of the electrical conductor opposes the change in the current? So inductance opposes the change in current. So the right answer will be inductance. And if we talk about capacitance, then it opposes the change in voltage. Farad is the SI unit of, so Farad is the SI unit of capacitance. If we talk about inductance, the SI unit of inductance is Henry. If we talk about resistance, the SI unit of resistance is ohm. And if we talk about reluctance, the SI unit of reluctance is ampere turn per Weber. So the farad is the SI unit of capacitance. So what will be the resistance in ohms of a lamp rated at 220 volt 200 watt? So the total power dissipated by any resistive circuit is given by P equals to V square by R, and we have to find the R. So from here we can get R equals to V square upon P. So what's V here? 220 square upon P is 200, and if we solve this then we get 242 ohm. So the right answer will be 242. So what is the value of the current I4 for the given? So if we apply KCL at this node, so we will get we will take a plus sign for the current entering into the node and minus sign for the current that is leaving from this node. So I6 is entering into this node, so it will be taken into positive, to plus 7, minus I5 will be taken as minus 8, plus I4 will be positive, plus I4, minus I3 will be negative, so minus 3. Again I2 will be positive, so plus 2, and I1 will be negative, so minus 4, and total sum will be 0. So after solving this we will get I4 equals to 6 ampere. So the right answer will be 6. The SI unit of magnetic flux is, so the SI unit of magnetic flux is Weber. If we talk about Henry, so Henry is the SI unit of inductance, Coulomb is the SI unit of charge, and Tesla is the SI unit of magnetic flux density, that is B. So the SI unit of magnetic flux is Weber. Now the relative permeability of a diamagnetic material is, I have already told in last video that according to relative permeability we can classify the material, that whether it is diamagnetic, paramagnetic or ferromagnetic. So for the material to be diamagnetic, the relative permeability should be less than 1. So the answer will be 3 less than 1. Now, which of the following is tetravalent? Tetravalent elements are those elements which have 4 valence electrons. So, in this, germanium will be tetravalent. Now, the acceptor type of impurity is, so the acceptor type of impurity, or we can say the trivalent material, are those material which have 3 valence electron. So, in this, both boron and aluminum have 3 valence electron. So the answer will be both 2 and 3, that is both boron and aluminum. Now the peak inverse voltage in case of bridge rectifier for each diode is where EM equals to peak value of the input voltage. So in case of bridge rectifier, the PIV, that is peak inverse voltage, is equal to the peak value of the input voltage, that is EM. So this is the main advantage that we use bridge rectifier in case of center tap full wave rectifier, because the PIV is reduced in case of bridge rectifier. And in case of center tap full wave rectifier, it is 2 EM. And we talk about half wave rectifier, then it is EM in case of half wave rectifier. So the last question is, a transformer changes AC to DC, changes DC to AC, steps up or down DC voltages and current, steps up or down AC voltages and current. So transformer can only increase or decrease AC voltages and current without changing the input frequency, because it works on the principle of the mutual induction. So what's happened, when we give DC supply, there will be no changing flux, so no EMF is induced in the secondary coil. So transformer doesn't work on DC, it can only increase or decrease the value of the AC voltages and current. So the right answer will be steps up or down the AC voltages and current. So that's all for now. Thank you. Please like and